Hello, welcome back to the Jörn YouTube channel. Today we want to present a new video of the format Secrets of Jörn. The secret today we want to disclose is how to produce a rubber metal part. How is the vulcanization process? Therefore, Michael Schiebel behind the camera, I'm very thank you very much again that he came with me to our plant, to our production plant in the south of Germany, in Allgäu, near to the Alps, near to the Lake Bodensee. Where the company Allgummi is located. Allgummi is part of the Jörn group for about 2 years now. We want to have a look about the vulcanization process, and so far, let's see how far we can get. So I will invite you to follow me, but before we start I have to change my shoes in order to get safety shoes on, because in the production facilities I have to wear safety shoes. Okay, come on, let's go. Okay, well, I've changed my clothes a bit. I'm now wearing here safety shoes. That's very normal, very necessary, even if we just make a movie here. Safety first. That's also valid for me. Allgummi as itself is part of the Jörn family, of the Jörn company, for a little bit more than 2 years now. Of course, as you can see, the building and so far is much older than just 2 years. It's existing for decades already, but part of Jörn GmbH since more than 2 years now. Today we want to explain you a little bit about the process, how to vulcanize a part, how a real rubber metal part will be produced. We will talk a little bit about rubber mixtures and so, about the preparation process of the metal parts, the surface coating and these kind of things, sandblasting. We will explain you a little bit about the vulcanization itself, and maybe we have time less to have a look at quality checks we perform here at Allgummi. For the moment, we're here in the warehouse again. You see here in these racks some parts, some finished goods, some raw metal parts already. Seems to be a little bit chaotic, but however, that's how a modern warehouse is organized. You can see here the QR code, and with the QR code we know exactly what is at this specific location and how long it's there, and it's all stored, of course, in the IT system. Okay, let's start with the next step. Okay, here we are again in a warehouse, but this is especially for rubber. And it's a little bit cold. It's too cold to wear a short sleeve shirt. However, it's not frozen here, but it's something below 20 degrees centigrade. Why is that? We need to control the temperature of the rubber warehouse, because rubber is a natural product, and the vulcanization process in principle starts already even at ambient temperature. Very slow, very little, but it starts. And therefore you need to control the conditions. As warmer it is, as faster the vulcanization moves forward. And we don't want to use raw rubber for the vulcanization process in the machines later on, which is already too much vulcanized, so to speak. So therefore you can't keep the material for a very long time in a warehouse. We're talking about a time frame of weeks, so around 8 to 12 weeks depending on the rubber mixture. What you see here is a quality control sheet, which is getting the yellow button when it's incoming into the warehouse, and it's becoming green hopefully when the quality parameters are checked and if it's released for production. And on this sheet you can also see when the rubber mixture is produced and how long it will last for production, and when we have to scrap it, unfortunately. You see here many different rubber mixtures in different shore hardnesses. and we use different rubber mixtures in different shore hardnesses, really depending on the specific requirements of each single part. Well, that's it for the rubber warehouse, and next step is the metal preparation area. Thanks. Okay, well, here in this area, we're in the area where the parts, the metal parts, are going to get sandblasted. Sandblasting is the next process, the following process after the degreasing process. The parts need to be degreased first, and after that we have to do the sandblasting in order to increase the active surface for the chemical reaction later on. And it's, so to speak, an activation process. And we have two machines here. One machine is for goods in bulk. On this band, we can't see the machine in action because it only works when the gate is closed, for safety reasons, of course. And another one is a so-called plate rotating machine, where we do the sandblasting for parts which are not goods in bulk. Okay, the next step then is the covering process with the bonding agent, and that's what we're going to see next. Please follow me. Here we are at the machine where we add the bonding agent to the metal parts. It's a device here where we have, in that case, 3 different metal parts put on after they are degreased and sandblasted. Therefore, I'm not allowed to touch these parts with my fingers. If I would do so, immediately the manager of the plant manager, Mr. Göttier, will come and flap my hands, because this is something which is absolutely forbidden in a rubber metal parts production, in a vulcanization production. Because if I would add grease to the metal here, we would have later on a bonding mistake, where we have no connection between the rubber and the metal parts, and the part will not last as long as it should in the real life, the application later on. That case is a so-called 2-component bonding agent. The first one is called primer, that is just the preparation cover for the metal, and then the second shift is second layer, gives then later on the real connection, the chemical connection between the metal and the rubber, the so-called bonding layer. The part will be sprayed here inside of the machine. Of course, it's all covered and protected, and then it's going to be heated and dried in a dryer. And yeah, well, we will have a look at the process now and show what you can display here. Okay, let's get started with the process. Okay, that's a vulcanization press from behind. Unfortunately, right now at the moment, the tool is closed. And it's going to be closed for about 10 further minutes. In total, it's about 20 minutes for this specific part, but we'll have a look on it later on when the tool is going to be open. We are here in the real production process and of course we don't want to disturb the process, and we can't keep the tool too long open because it's heated, it needs the temperature. Talking about the temperature of the mixture inside is, depending on the part, depending on the size, depending on the rubber as well, is between 150 and 165 degrees centigrade. And the rubber is fluidized, so to speak. It's becoming a fluid due to the machine, due to the injection molding machine, and the injection pressure is about 160 bars. So that's an injection molding machine. That's the state-of-the-art technology. But advantage is the parts are finished when the tool will be open. In that case, we have a 4-cavity tool, and we produce here a very famous Jörn part. It's a flange bush, which is used for pendulum axles for very heavy loaded special trailers. Well, now we have to wait a little bit until the tool is going to be open. But don't worry, we will not bother you with looking on a closed tool. So we will come back later. So now the tool is open and you see the finished parts. In the upper part of the tool you see the vulcanized rubber from the runner system, which is the distribution system of the rubber. And Mr. Göttl here is now removing that. And here you can see how much rubber is vulcanized but is not used in the parts. So that's all scrap, but that needs to be removed, and you need that. That's just sufficient. And you just saw the worker. You're just cleaning the tool and removing the residuals of vulcanized rubber from the tool in order to avoid some closures of the runner system, because then you would have in the next step, next vulcanization cycle, you would have this already vulcanized rubber mixed with a new one. Now he's removing the very hot parts. You see the steam a little bit. That's another reason for wearing gloves, not to avoid the getting grease or other dirt to the part, but it's just to protect his hands from the heat. The parts are now finished, so they will be finally checked for quality and then shipped to the customer. So he's preparing the tool for the next cycle of vulcanization. So that's cleaning with high pressure air, removing the residuals of rubber, as I've said before. Now you just see in the upper part a very interesting thing happen. Yep, here we go. So that's also rubber which is coming from the runner system, from the feeding system, where the rubber is fed to the tool. And the tip of that, well, how to speak, that round thing, the rubber, is a little bit vulcanized already, needs to be removed for the same reason as I've explained before. Here we have a parting agent brought to the tool, which is avoiding that the vulcanized parts are more or less gluing to the tool, and that makes it easier to remove the parts later on from the tool. It's not need to be done for every cycle, but every 5 cycles or so you need to do that. So he's inserting the first metal parts. These are the washer rings, and the next part which is coming is the inner metal tube. For that tube they have a slit, and that's why it's very important to put the slit on the right position. So he needs to do that very carefully, and you see that the parts are really tight on the tool. So that's the fixture to hold the parts, the metal parts, during the vulcanization process. As I've said, it's very tight, and that's why he's doing the final refinement work with a small hammer. And now it's all prepared. The tool is closed with a closing pressure of about 250 bars. And the next cycle of vulcanization starts. The cycle in that case takes about 20 minutes, so we will not show that completely. And we will go to the next step in a minute. Well, here we see now a tool open, thanks to the colleagues who gave us the tool out of the tools warehouse. You see here a so-called 4-cavity tool because we can make 4 parts at the same time. It's a dual bush tool, dual bushes, and this tool is made of mainly 3 parts: the lower parts, the middle part, and the upper part. And on the lower part, you see the holder of the metal parts, of the single metal parts. We have 2 different metal parts for each side, so it's 4 in total, plus the inner tube, and they're held here in these fixtures. The middle part, it's very heavy, very heavy. Oops, it's like this. I will not move the other parts here. That's the part. The middle part of the tool is, when the tool is opening, will be lifted and moved to the side. So in order to make it rather simple, that the parts could be taken out of the tool later on. And here in the I need a little bit space. The upper part of the tool, wow, it's very heavy. Or I'm too weak, I don't know. Maybe a combination of both. You can see again the areas where the metal are held, and you can see here the small holes. This is where the rubber will be injected into the cavity. And on the other side, you can see very clearly the distribution area. These ways, these channels, so to called, the rubber will flow to the different holes and get into the tool later on. And this is what Mr. Göttlicher just showed on the vulcanization tool, the distribution channels for the rubber, and this is also vulcanized later on. Okay. This part, the 4-cavity tool part, is in that case a part which is economically rather meaningful for rather low and medium production volume. We produce many different parts of these tools, but they're just distinguished by the shore hardness. And of each version we produce a few hundreds, maybe on the high runner, just 1,000 or 2,000 pieces a year, and for that volume approximately a 4-cavity tool makes most sense. Okay, that's it for the tools. Thanks. Okay friends, that was it. We're at the end. I've changed my shoes again, and today we've seen the vulcanization process, how it works. The vulcanization process we've seen here at our plant Allgummi is optimized to medium-sized and small-sized production volume. So in numbers, about 50 pieces a year from one unit up to, let's say, 5,000 pieces a year. So that's why in many processes handcraftsman work is involved. It's pretty similar to that. Of course, for higher volume, for higher production volume, you will see more automation, more robots and so. But this is what we have here, and well, unfortunately we couldn't see all aspects we actually wanted to show. However, the time was running out, and well, maybe next time. But if you have any very specific questions about this process, about the company, please leave us a comment. If you liked what you have seen, we would be very happy if you would leave us a like. And leave a comment, share the video, and of course, if you don't want to miss a video in the future, please subscribe our channel. I want to say thank you very much again to Michael Schiebel behind the camera, and of course to Bernd Göttlicher and his team, who have really well supported us here with what we've done today. Thank you very much to all, and bye bye. See you later when it's again. Welcome to the Jörn channel. See you soon. Bye bye.